the show. And I'm here with Steve Lopes and Derek Consasio.
What's up, everybody?
Lots to talk about this week.
Yeah, there seems to have been a little more news, sporting news,
Good
than
for this
normal.
time of year.
Yeah, because we know that this time of year, typically there's only one sport going on. That's if you're lucky enough not to have a good boxing fight coming on this week,
Yeah.
and a good UFC fight coming on.
Yeah.
So, but we were obviously blessed this week to have enough material to to have speaking points, and that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to talk about sports salaries. How high is too high? Listen,
It's every sport, seems.
but in brief, right? It's obvious. There's people who determine how much athletes gets paid, and it's mostly the people who pay to see the games.
That was going to be my point. How soon till we can't afford to go? Because with these escalating salaries,
It's
we
the
need more
it's
TV money and higher ticket prices.
it's the fans who determine the prices of how much these athletes get paid. As much as it may not seem that way, that is pretty much the truth. It's the fans, because when the prices go up, the fans they pay for it. A lot of people say, "Oh, I'm going to boycott," but not enough.
Yeah.
Not when it comes down to it, not enough. People say and actually do not go to the games. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about. We'll also talk about Bronny James and what
So
happened with him
unfortunate.
with his episode of going into cardiac arrest. Fortunately, today he was released from the hospital, but I'm sure they're going to monitor him. And we'll talk about some other episodes in which happened to pro and amateur athletes in the way of cardiac arrests. Also, we'll talk about some boxing news because there's a big fight coming up this weekend, right? And we'll talk about some NFL news, and we'll also talk about LeBron James, the community activist.
That was a good story.
Um, so we'll start off first with obviously with sports salaries. All right. In case you don't know, number is 774-425-2631. That is the number in which you can call to the radio station. And if you didn't know, you can go to our website, wnb1.com, and just click the live link, and you'll be prompted right to the show right here at WNB1 Radio. Um, so, all right, can we talk about the escalating salaries of sports?
Well, what was the first major one to drop? Mr. Herbert, right?
Yes.
He's now the highest paid quarterback. So Lamar had it for like a month.
Yeah. So yeah. It turns out that every single time we turn around, I'd say 2, 3 quarterbacks in a year are going to be getting paid, right?
Resetting the markets.
They reset the markets, right? Um, I always like to compare and uh, talk about quarterbacks that got paid in the past, and I'll use this one because it kind of puts things in perspective, right? So 3 years ago, we talked about Dak Prescott. At the time, he reset the market, and he didn't become the highest paid player, but there was a lot of controversy because a lot of people were like, "Oh, I don't know how he's getting paid $40 million." It just it doesn't it doesn't fit for what he's doing. So you look at the actual quarterback and you look at what's out there. So there's two determining factors, right? Does a quarterback does he fit the mold of eventually somebody who's going to bring them where they need to go? And is then you look at his what he's done in the past. A lot of people, say, "Oh, he's only won a couple of playoff games and he hasn't made it to the NFC Championship game." But what in reality, what is out there that's better? I mean, let's just look at let's take our prospective teams, right?
Yep.
If your quarterback were to be a free agent, right? What do you think? How much do you think he could possibly be making in this year? If he were, let's just hypothetically speaking, and look at the quarterbacks that are out there in the market, would you pay him, a Justin Herbert salary?
No,
No.
no, he's not a Justin Herbert type of
Well, no,
quarterback.
no, because let's say the because though, because one age, right? He's been in the league a long time, all right. But let's say it were 5 years ago.
5 years ago,
He
he was
did have
he,
that
he
type of
was
contract.
he was the highest played
Oh,
quarterback at the
okay.
time when he
So
signed.
so there's a lot of determining factors. I brought that up specifically because there's a lot of determining factors, right? Now we'll look at your quarterback. All right. He's a prime example. All right. So he was on the market for 2 straight years where he got franchised. Okay. And and still, I believe till this date, he is the highest paid quarterback in the last 7 years, I think, or 6 years.
And guaranteed
In
money for
guaranteed
sure.
money, yes. So he's not the best quarterback, but he at the time
You have
when
no
the time
choice
came up, he was the best available and the best available for the
for that
team.
team.
Okay. So a lot of people are gonna say, they're not worth it. He's not worth it, or they're not worth it, whatever the case may be. Um, but that's just how it goes. The way I like to look at it now is when it's your turn. When it's your turn. Now, you look at some quarterbacks, all right. So he just became the highest paid quarterback at $52.5 million. All right. Um, he basically upped Lamar Jackson $500,000. But now you look at Jalen Hurts, who just was bested by Lamar Jackson probably by a month and a
Yeah,
half or so,
this all
whatever the case
happened
is.
in summer vacation,
Yeah. All right. So
and
this is
somebody's still waiting.
this is where what I'm talking about. So next year you're going to see the same exact thing. All right, you're going to see the same. You're going to see a couple of quarterbacks that are going to get paid. Burrow's going to be one of them.
Burrow's going to get paid. Yeah,
Yeah, Burrow's going to be one of them. So next year, guess what? He's going to probably be the highest paid quarterback,
yeah.
easily, easily.
So you know whose contract looks like a real benefit right now? Mr. Mahomes.
Yeah,
Remember when he got 10 years, 450
yeah,
million? We were like, it's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. But
So what's
now
gonna
he's seventh highest paid.
so what's gonna end up happening with Patrick Mahomes, right? Um, as soon as he drops probably another, which he will, he'll probably drop down to like the eighth, ninth, and I like in the top 10. You have to,
Got to redo it.
you just have to redo the contract.
But
Um,
he went out on an interview and said to him right now it's not about the money. He'd rather win right now to make more money. He did say that.
yeah,
I put a
um,
clause in my contract saying I always got to be a top three quarterback. Then you don't have to renegotiate all the time.
yeah. I don't know if teams will do that. It's kind of hard. I think there's only a select few athletes that can actually make that call. We've seen Michael Jordan do it.
Mm.
I think at the end of your career.
You don't think Mahomes is one of those athletes right
No,
now?
I didn't say that.
No, During his
I,
prime,
I
I
didn't say
would,
that.
I'm
No,
asking you. I'm asking
no,
you.
no, no.
He's still in his prime. What do you mean?
Two.
I said as long as he's in his prime.
I
thought you said.
he's won two out of the last four Super Bowls. How can he not be?
Yeah.
Um, and in the pretty much in the AFC Championship every year. So how and why not can he be that dude? I just think that there's very few, maybe one, maybe two in each sport that can like pick it and call it like that. Um, Yet you really have to be I think atop your game, and you have to be elite to do that because it's, as you know, in football, you throw money, football basically turns into what have you done for me lately.
Yeah.
You throw that in someone's contract and they have two garbage years, and then now you're paying them top salary. They could be on a declining, they could be on the decline. So it's hard to do it.
That happened with a running back in the Rams.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to do. It's hard to gauge, especially in football where all the money is usually up front. It's kind of hard to project it and say, okay, we're going to keep you there. We're going to keep you there. Tom Brady probably could have got away with it
Right.
because playing at the level
His
that he
resume
played.
speaks
Yeah,
for
yeah.
itself.
But then after that, I don't think anyone outside of Mahomes you can say, okay, yeah, we're gonna keep you there. Um, no one has done it as long. It's funny because we look at him and you're like, wow, okay, well, he's not really. It was he been 7 years? 7 years?
Who's this?
Patrick
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
I don't even know if he's been there that long.
Seven.
No,
I believe seven.
it's got
He's
to be
this is
around
his
that.
seventh
It's got
year.
to be around
This
that.
is his seventh year.
Well, because the first year he didn't play.
They won six. They won six consecutive division with
Yeah,
him, and they've been to the AFC Championship, I believe, five,
Five
I keep
times.
forgetting about the
five
year
out of
he
six.
sat behind the other quarterback.
Yeah,
That's why.
Trent Green.
no,
No,
no, no, no,
No,
the one
the
that
one
the
that
one that
broke
broke
his
his
leg.
leg.
Yeah,
oh,
Yeah,
uh,
um,
good
he
dude.
ended up playing for Washington.
Washington. Yeah,
Yeah, I forgot his name, but
that's what I was thinking of. But I
yeah,
said
so
Trent Green.
he's been there every year. So yeah, but he is kind of the young old man at this.
Smith, was it Smith?
Yes, yes,
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith. He's kind of the young old man of quarterbacks right now, and
He's not even that old.
no, no, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said young old man. But yeah, we look at the quarterbacks and we see every year it gets reset by three guys at the minimum. At the minimum. Um, and a guy like I said, we could look at Dak Prescott, who 3 years ago was the third highest paid. Now he's the what tenth highest paid. So it just keeps it's the ever evolving, ever changing. It's just you're up next. Okay, you're gonna get paid. Okay, you, and another guy, and I'm the highest paid. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, yeah.
No more, no
Before you
more.
make that statement,
And then it's gone. So, but yeah, so Justin Herbert, he got a, and another thing we need to look at too. So people are looking at the salaries, right? And they're saying, "Oh my God, he's getting paid so much money." So if you look at a breakdown of what he's getting, okay, so in 2023, he's only going to be getting basically $8 million. So 2024, it jumps up to 19 million. 2025 is where it comes into play. It
yeah,
goes,
because he's still on his rookie
yes.
contract.
So they extended him. But do we realize when you extend somebody, you're paying the market value, but you're catching a break on those years
So that's the
because
market value now.
yes. So if you look at it, right, $37 million, $46 million, $58 million, then it jumps up to $71 million.
That's when he'll get cut.
That's the money that's on the back end of that 8 million this
Yes.
year and 13 million. That's
Se-
making up
That's
that.
that's when he gets cut.
Yeah,
$71
of
million
course.
dollars. Okay. And then in 2029 it jumps back down to $59 million. But
Jumps down to
yes,
59.
it jumps down to
That's
$59
$12
million.
million.
So what happens is he gets from the 2028 he has a 9 million 9 million bonus and a $5 million roster bonus, which really elevates it. Um, but the thing is, a lot of people don't realize that when you sign a quarterback and and you give them that them extra years, you're actually saving money.
Yeah.
A lot of people look at it, oh my god, because so if you look at like I said, if you look at what the average quarterback now is making, what I just had it, what, 40, almost 35 to $40 million. um yeah, so we can start at 52, and then you get out of the top 10 at 40. All right, so you're probably talking maybe around $30 million once you average it all out. But the upper, the top 10, you're talking about $45 million is the average salary, and every year that's going to go up incrementally more, 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 and then you don't have to deal with that because the guy's locked into 2029.
Yeah.
You know,
You see what Mr. Rogers did?
Yeah, he went backwards.
yeah, he took a pay cut.
But
He wants to win.
But he got a $35 million signing bonus.
Yeah, he took the money up front. Um,
That helps the team.
Yeah, it does, and
And-
what it does is
They want to sign Mr. Dalvin Cook.
yeah,
And others.
yeah,
Because they just signed Quentin Williams to a crazy contract.
Yeah.
But the thing that's sticking in my mind about all this is I don't think it's a matter of people wanting to get a payday. I'm starting to think ego's coming into place because if you notice all these salaries, the highest paid offensive lineman, Buda Baker just said, I'm no longer the highest paid safety. He just got incentives built in so he could still be the highest paid. Everybody wants that moniker of highest paid like not everybody's the best player at their position. So you can't always think just because it's your turn, you got to be the highest paid. I wish that would stop. Your stats, like they do in basketball, they should create some type of criteria where you say you have to do this, this, and this to get to this level.
Barry brings up an interesting point. Um, he says it's just not Taylor Swift tickets are going for $20,000. I'll tell you what, if someone pays $20,000 and I know who this, I'm gonna slap the shit out
And
of
I
him.
guess she has no black fans.
I'm gonna slap the shit out of him.
I don't even want to hear that question.
$20,000. Come on, man, cut it out.
But it's
Um,
not her that determines it.
yeah,
Live Nation and all them
yeah,
do, like
yeah.
it costs this. She wants a certain amount to get paid. They want to make a certain profit. They got a certain size arena, and they say we have to charge this much to triple our money.
Hey, if let's say you're doing that, and and somebody's willing to pay that much money, are you not going to sell it to them?
It's
Yeah.
because her demand is they're taking advantage of her demand. We're talking about salaries in sports. Facebook user, I don't see a name, but we're talking about the recent Justin Herbert salary, what it's doing for sports, and we got a few more examples coming up.
Yeah. So obviously, Jalen Brown
Now the highest paid basketball
he's
player.
yes, he is
And
now the
it wasn't even our first team. It wasn't even the MVP.
Well,
No.
that's my point.
no.
He's
That's
not
the-
even a top 14 player.
But listen. He is a top 14 player.
He's
a
number
top 10.
15.
He's a top 10 player. He
He's-
was second team all team.
He,
was
he
second.
made second team, but in NBA rankings going into this
No,
season,
no,
he's
no,
ranked
no.
No.
He got paid for being.
1 year.
It doesn't make it. So he fits the criteria. What a lot of people fail to recognize is it's no fault of his own. It's what the NBA put
It's not
there.
his fault.
That's the benchmark. He hit the benchmark. He met the criteria. He just happened to be in his contract year and he hit it. Now he averaged a career high. He averaged a career high in points, right? He did everything. Everything, all his stats were elevated.
Yep.
And all his stats have been elevated throughout the course of his career. There's not been a year where he's digressed. It's always gone
Except
up
in the
incrementally.
playoffs.
It doesn't make a difference.
Well, that
Play-
should be factored in
play-
because when it means the most, he shits the bed.
Listen. So once again, we'll get back to the original point. The playoffs doesn't determine what you get paid. The playoffs might determine your legacy, but it's not going to determine how much you get paid. All right. The criteria for getting a supermax deal, unfortunately, on your side, is what you do during the course of the season, which makes you get paid, which allows you to become either first team or second team, which allows you for a supermax contract. He fits that criteria. And another thing, this is the first such year that this has gone into play. So he actually is the test dummy or the test rich guy, however you want to put it. And a lot of people are going to be so they're saying, what's his name?
Tatum,
No, we know Tatum's going to get paid. He's going to end up getting paid.
$338 million.
Yes.
He'll be eligible for
Yes.
next year.
Yeah.
That means he'll have
He hit it.
$640 million for two guys.
So I know.
How do
I know.
you sign anybody else if you need a new point guard?
Well, you're not going to worry about it for 2 years.
Well,
That's the case.
you better have him on your squad now already signed because you can't go out and get a free agent.
Well, the thing is, all the guys on their squad right now are good for 2 years. So this is what I'm saying. So for 2 years, you don't have to really worry about it.
You do because Brogdon's got injury concerns. You traded Smart. Who's next in line to run that team? So if your point guard your weakest spot, and you can't go get a new one. You're limited.
Brogdon is going to handle point guard. It's going to be White that's going to be handling the ball more.
He's capable, but he's not a legit point guard.
Well, there's not a lot of legit point guards in the NBA.
No, but to win a championship, I think you got to have a lead guard that leads the team. A point guard to me is the leader. He runs the show. He distributes the ball. He's the coach on the floor.
I don't think so. Did the Bulls have a point guard?
No, they had Ron Harper.
Okay, yeah, and he was at the end of his career, just a smart player. And you could say whatever you want, but Steph Curry isn't really a point guard. He's a scoring guard. He's a scoring guard. They run more plays for him than they do anyone else. So typically that doesn't make him a point guard. He's not distributing to himself. And just look at let's look at Denver. Did they really have a strong point guard?
Well, Jamal Murray's a combo guy, just like Steph
Yeah,
Curry.
no, he's a shooting guard. He's more of a shooting
Well, he
guard.
played the
He
point
played the
during
point,
the. He,
though,
he
didn't
Yeah,
he?
I
played the
know,
point,
but
and
I'm saying,
Jokic played the point.
do you see him? Do you see him with 12, 15 assists every game? No.
Not every game, but he's had his fair share of triple doubles.
Yeah, yeah,
So did
but I'm
Jokic.
just saying that the thing is, it's the typical. When we think of teams, we always want to say, "Oh, you got to have a great point guard." The NBA has come such to me anyway. I don't know if you might agree with me. You have to be multifaceted. Okay, so if you're Jamal Murray, you need to score first, and then sometimes if you might need to be a distributor.
Well, he
There's
plays with a
no
great
more.
passing center, so
There's
that
no.
takes a little
There's no
pressure
more.
off.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
Multi-talented. So I think a lot of what the foreign players bring is they bring multifaceted. A lot of them, they come and they're able to pass, they're able to shoot, they're able to rebound. They come with a lot of skills. All right, and it no longer are you most dependent. So if you look at Denver, they ran their offense through Jokic.
Yes.
They ran their offense through Jokic.
Anybody, whoever got the rebound, pretty much brought the ball up.
Yeah, and if you notice, you see they would bring him to the high point, and everything would run off of him. Everything would run off of him. So you don't really need one. Yes, is it good to have one? I think it's good to have a point guard, but I can't. Who's the last real strong point guard that you can say that won a championship?
well, that was the debate last week.
What I'm saying, who can you remember? Can you recall the last great point guard to win a to be on a team to win, with that team? I can't remember.
Steph Curry.
But he's not really the point
That's
guard.
your opinion. I think he's a point guard. Just like him and Jamal Murray are a combo
He's a
guard.
point
If
guard.
you don't want to recognize
He's
it
a
for the
so,
sake of the argument, that's
but no, you're saying position. You're saying
yeah.
position. So wait,
What's he listed at?
but wait, hold on.
He's the point guard, and Klay Thompson's
But
the
wait a
off guy.
second. So let's use apples and oranges. I gave you the criteria for Jaylen Brown, and then you were like, no, but no. And then I gave you, conversely, I gave you the opposite, and a point guard that scores more points than he does assists. So it's the same argument in a different form. You could say he was, but did he average 12, 15 assists?
That doesn't necessarily mean
But
you're a point guard.
you did just said a strong point guard, somebody who handles the game and who gives out a
All-around
lot of
point guard,
assists.
leadership,
Yeah,
being able to run a team. Every great point guard is a leader. Isaiah, Magic, them guys are leaders. They make everybody else around them better.
I know, but I'm saying, if in my eyes, if you average more points, if you average, almost twice as many points as you do assists, I don't know if you're a really good. I don't know if it's to say you're a great point guard, you're a great scoring guard. Um, Wait, let's see what this person has to say. It's a very
Kinda long. I was trying to read it.
long-winded here. Let's see what it is.
I think it's too long to go on top of that.
Yeah, I know. These sports never really associated myself with anyone who I really discussed sports with because I really didn't understand what the players understood. Old school. We never had time to discuss sports. Work was our priority. Facebook. Yeah, someone I must have worked with.
Yeah.
It says Facebook user. If
You
you could,
identify
if you could
yourself?
identify yourself, so we know who you are. But getting back to the point which was the point? I know we were
Last time
talking
a
about-
great point guard.
Yeah, last time
won.
a
Who
real great point
qualifies as a
guard.
point guard. Combo
Um,
guard doesn't mean they're not a point guard. It just means they can be a point guard or a shooting guard.
Yeah, but
And when you
It's-
list the starting five,
it's-
what do they list Steph Curry as?
yeah, a point guard, just like
Yeah, and
just
Draymond Green runs
All
the
right.
point a lot like Jokic does.
all right. So when they listed Jaylen Brown as second team all NBA, he was top 10. You're saying they had him 14, but he qualified for top 10.
I said he made the NBA All 10 based on that one season.
Yeah.
I'm saying I just read a rankings that I can show you, the NBA rankings that rank all the top players going into the season.
yeah,
And
but,
he's ranked 15, but he's
but-
paid like number one. That's
but-
what I have an issue with.
oh, okay.
Lisa Vieira.
Yeah. But all right. So in regards to that, I seen some really trash rankings. All right. If you see Sports Illustrated, you want to just rip their book up. It's like, who is writing for them? You know what I'm saying? So we had this argument before, right? And who was I having an argument with? Oh, I was having it with Rob. With Rob. Paparazzi Rob. Remember? I told him
Oh,
that he was going to make second team all star. And he laughed at me. Remember? Remember that? He laughed at me and said he is not top 15. And I said, based on what based on some of the guys who aren't going to make it this year because of what they did off the court, some of the problems that they had, I said he's definitely going to make it. He came with literally, he came within, I want to say, like real close to being first team. You know what I'm saying? But because of what he did, and he qualifies for the Supermax. But I don't know. I seen some, like I said, I seen some real trash rankings where they have guys that are way. So you're saying 15? Are you saying 15 overall? But let's talk about at
I'm
his
looking at the
position.
list right here.
But let's talk about at his position. You know what I'm
What-
saying? If you talk about at
What
his
is-
I
position,
didn't say at
Is
the
he-
position.
is
I
he a
said
two?
overall.
but
Is
no,
he a
no,
2
no,
or
no,
a
no,
3?
no, no. So this is what you have to look at. You have to look at his position because he got paid for his position. He qualified as the second best
As
person
a shooting guard?
at yes, as a shooting guard in his position. So he qualified for that reason only. We're not talking about overall, but we're talking about in his class for a guard. He got class as the second best player. There was only one player better than him in his category. So next year, I don't know if you noticed, but they're gonna go to the rule. There's not gonna be no rule by position.
Just going to be the top 5 overall.
That's right. It's just going to be the top five
Yeah,
raw.
that goes
So
into
you can
effect next
have
year.
you can have two centers, you can have two power forwards, you can have three off guards. It doesn't make a difference. So next year, there might be a swing and a change of things because of that rule. But as it
But
qualified,
I'm going by top players. So let me just give you a list of the people that are ranked ahead of him, and you tell me who you might disagree with. Jokic 1, Giannis 2, Luca 3, Tatum 4, Embiid 5, Durant 6, Curry 7, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander 8, Dame 9, Morant 10,
no, let's
that,
take him off right there.
LeBron 11. First time he's been out of the
Let,
top.
let's take him out there right there. Let's
Donovan Mitchell 12. I'm sorry, they got Jalen at 13, not 14. They got Jalen
yeah.
ranked as the number 13 player. So even
Um,
if you move him up, my point is, how does the number 13 overall player get the number one highest salary? I think it should be based on, because now all these people are going to be like,
Yeah,
I
but
need
but
more,
but
I
but
need
you're
more.
but you're talking you're superseding what he did last year. He's getting paid for his
Right.
what he did
But he didn't get
last
a.
year.
Then they should have gave him a 1 year contract based on his 1 year performance because he only did it for 1 year.
So
He got a 5 year
so
performance.
so basically, you're saying throw the contract that they rip up the contract that they agreed to for the CBA and disregard it because he only had
Well,
one good year.
here's what I think is going to happen next year when he can't duplicate the stats or he has any type of recession. He's a great ball player. He's just not, to me, top 10. But he's got, as soon as he doesn't perform or play outworld, the fans are going to be all over him. It's going
That
to create
happens in any
undue
sport.
pressure.
That happens in any
He's
sport.
getting $60 million a year
That
for
happens-
this to dribble off his
That,
leg to
that
turn the
happens.
ball over.
That happens in any sport. The more you make, the more expectations there are for you.
The more you're under a microscope.
Wait
yeah,
till
and
wait
that's what I
wait
think is
till
going to be unfair
wait
to him.
wait until both of them are making that money
Yeah.
and they don't perform to
In
where
Boston.
they need to perform. But that could happen anywhere. Look at the Mets, for example, right? They got two of the highest paid pitchers,
The
right?
whole lineup.
They got two of the highest paid pitchers. Two of the highest
I
paid.
think they're the
3
highest.
and 4. I think they're 2
Highest
and 3.
payroll.
I think
Wait,
the
hold on. They're
Dodgers.
3 or 4.
The Mets are the highest payroll in the league.
Wait, hold on. So Scherzer
I thought it
is
was
number
Dodgers.
2. Verlander is number 3. So you got the number 2 and the number 3 player, and they're garbage. You're trash right now.
The
All
whole
right,
team.
all right. They're trash right now.
Not to mention their shortstop that makes big money.
Yeah.
And they got a
But-
bunch of people that
but
make
this
they're the
is-
highest paid team in baseball.
This is the thing. When you don't when the competition doesn't match the salary, people just start they start to pretty much dump all over you. It's to be expected with fans, with fanatics. We're going to say that.
And nothing against Jalen on this one. We know Tatum is deservedly going to get a max contract next year. That one I feel is deserved. But now you got two of them. What's that going to do to the common fan trying to go to a game? Because you know how the team's going to try to make up that money.
Yeah,
TV contracts and ticket prices.
yeah. It doesn't make a difference anyway. Boston is one of the highest paid ticketed events in all sports.
Well, they're the number 5 city in the country. So,
In all sports. So it doesn't make a difference if you go to the baseball game. It doesn't make a difference if you go to the hockey game. You're paying.
Hey,
You are paying through the roof.
and
yeah, but
all,
nobody's
and
making, you don't got nobody, no other Boston team has two people making over 300 million a year.
Yeah, I know.
So
I get that.
ticket price is getting even. It's already the highest, and it's going to go even higher.
I get that. But the thing is, it's just you go minus them making that money. At that time the tickets were still outrageous, and that's just Boston in general. That's just the market, and it's crazy. But back to the point. So we now that we dove into Major League Baseball, right? So we got Scherzer and Verlander. So it's funny when you look at this list. So you got Otani, you got Trout, and you got Randon. That's three right there.
Oh, a pitcher.
You got three right there in the top seven, top six, and you got two in the top three from one team. If you look at this list, um, it gets kind of repetitive until you get to the bottom, seven. Um, but it just goes to show you, Shohei Otani, his salary's only 30 million, but he makes more in endorsements, $40 million,
He's ready to
70 million.
make a whole lot more than all the way around.
The top paid
next year he's gonna make more.
the top paid player actually in salary is Scherzer at 58 million. And then it doesn't even get close because the next highest is 43. His teammate Justin Verlander.
And he's old.
Yes,
He's old, man.
very
They
old.
wanted to win quick.
Yeah, they wanted a quick fix, so they just whoever best available in their eyes, let's just grab. We don't care if he's like rocking chair age or whatever, we're grabbing him. And it's backfired because they're not playing well. Um, and something that's um, absently noticed is the New York Yankees.
Um,
Typically, they're amongst the highest. Barry can he could vouch us.
for a long time, they were the highest paid team.
So
Since George left, it hasn't been
they've
the
got
same.
Verlin. Excuse me, they've got Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole. Um, 40,
And Stanton.
40 and 36 million. But Stanton's not even in the top 10. He's not even in the top
I
10.
thought he had a huge contract.
No.
He does have a huge contract, but right now it's not in the top 10.
Yeah. And it's wild because they're usually amongst, but their crosstown rivals now have the highest payroll in baseball, which is
And a
wild.
worse team.
Yeah, which is wild.
And the Yankees are in last place too, though.
Yeah.
In the division.
Both teams are underperforming, and pretty much
But the Yankees had a lot of injuries.
yeah, fair. That's fair enough to say. Barry, you can give us a
Was the Ramsey season ending? His injury was season ending. Jalen Ramsey.
Well,
I
they
didn't-
didn't know
they
yet,
didn't- they
but
didn't
we're
say it.
going to get to football, so
They
we'll
didn't
talk
say
about
it.
it in the football segment.
I haven't seen anything on Shefty's page,
Yeah, I haven't
so
gotten anything.
I
I know
usually
Burrows
look
was
on-
a calf injury.
I usually look on Shefty's page,
I
and
didn't
he
get the
usually.
update. I didn't get no update yet.
Right here. Hold on. Breaking news.
Six-time
Will
Pro
undergo knee surgery and expected, to miss the season.
Wow.
First year.
No, start of the regular season with the injury that he suffered during start of the injury, per league source. It's intact though, which is positive. His ACL is intact. To miss the start of the regular season, so it doesn't say how many games he's going to miss.
Probably will take a day for them to evaluate just how much damage there is and see if it's going to be longer. It could very well be season injury, but you have to wait for the swelling to go down before you can really get in there and see what the total damage is. But it doesn't sound good one way or the other.
Yeah.
But before I forget something, when we were talking about Jalen Brown, I didn't want to sound all negative. There's one thing I totally love about his contract. You all saw his press conference.
Yeah.
You see what he said he wanted to do?
He's gonna use. He's gonna
Help
use.
build the Boston
Yes.
community.
Yeah. Well,
We
this
hardly
is.
hear people talk about stuff like that. So I was very flattered and like uplifted to hear him say it's not all about me. I'm going to do something positive with this money. You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's always been his goal. He's always he's an activist, and he's always wanted to help the um the, the communities in which needed help, and he stayed true to his word. This was him before his big contract, and this is him after his big contract. So it's good. Um, so Barry, let us know where the Yankees rank as far as total payroll in the league.
It's got to be
Um,
third behind the Mets and the Dodgers.
I
The
don't know.
Angels got to be up there
I don't
too,
know.
though.
I don't know. Um, so we can move over to soccer, right? So we
That's the
know,
mind blower.
we know that I can't
Kylian
even say his
Mbappe.
name. I can't even say his name.
Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe.
Mbappe
Yep.
was offered a staggering how much?
776
And
million
he
for one
declined.
year.
And he declined.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to play in Saudi Arabia. He, his lifetime goal was to play for the Spanish team Real Madrid. So he wants to leave the Paris team where he's from to go play for his lifetime favorite team. Like if you ever got a chance to go in the NFL, you'd say, I want to play for the Cowboys. So you're going to do it while you're still in your prime. He's only 24 years old.
At some point in time, he'll be able to call it. At some point in time.
But there was a stat that I have. I wish I would have remembered when I first got here. I would have told you to put it up. That contract offer is higher than the top 17 NBA salaries if you add up the top, and that's including Jalen Brown. Add up the top 17 salaries, and it doesn't even come close to what Kylian
What was
Mbappe.
it?
776 million for 1 year.
It's higher than the Mets, Yankees,
Yeah,
Padres, Phillies.
whole organizations.
Yeah.
That's I just
By a
people
lot.
got disposable money.
By double.
But you know what that's setting a precedent for me for. You see what's happening in soccer. You see what's happening in golf, the Live tournament, and all that stuff. The people with the money, the Saudi Arabians or whoever, are going to come over and start pouching people because I see that. Like, what if they start a football league? All the running backs will be the first one to sign up.
So I think we're overlooking one thing. So you want to talk about being paid. So I just noticed it when I was looking up top soccer players. Cristiano Ronaldo makes $200 million.
Oh yeah,
I did not know that.
it's not 776,
What did
but
Messi just sign for?
low money because the United
35
States
million.
Yeah, he's
35
already made
million.
his money. He just always wanted to play in the United States.
35 million. No,
But he makes crazy money in endorsements too,
Yeah.
like Ronaldo does.
Ronaldo makes $200 million. All right, so that's cake. That's great.
Soccer is the highest paying
Yeah.
because they're the number one sport. 80,000 at every game.
All right, so I did find an interesting. I did find an interesting stat that I got to share with you.
All right.
So we're looking at all the guys who make the big money, but the scale of soccer goes to the very rich to the very low paying. All right. So if you look at Cristiano Ronaldo, he's making $200 million a year. Some of the soccer players don't even make a tenth of that. All right. So
Because the money's going to the top
yeah.
guys.
So in this stat is average annual player salary in the sport industry.
Just salary, or does that include their endorsements? Their total earning
No,
potential?
just the salary.
Because they get paid a lot more with their.
Just no. We're not talking about endorsements. We're talking about straight salary. So, this is an old stat. I want to say it was 2020, 21. The NBA led all professional sports with an average of 8.32 million per player.
What was that?
So
During
you take-
Jordan years?
So no. No.
I'm just trying to
It's
think.
figuring out. It's figuring out
average.
every player. It's figuring out every player. So you take the highest to the lowest and you average it out. $8.32 million. So then the IPL, which is a um, I think it was a soccer league somewhere. They were 5.3. Major League Baseball was 4.3. And then there was another soccer league, which was 3.97. Then it was the NFL at 3.26. Then La Liga was 2.5. The NFL and NHL, which I was shockingly surprised, came in at 2.69. And then there was cricket and some more
Cricket.
soccer. Yeah, yeah. They get paid a lot of
Yeah,
money.
they're big in Europe, but we don't see
Yeah,
it over here, so it's hard to
Yeah,
yeah.
fathom.
but there's not a lot of people to a team either,
No,
though.
no, no. But I was kind of shocked by that. I thought soccer, and then I started reading, and you see the Cristiano Ronaldos that make the 200 million. Then there's guys that just make 190 million, $190,000. So you
Yeah,
go
those
from
are
the
the
very
guys.
high to
Those are
the
the guys
very
that don't
low.
get off the bench either, though.
You
Yeah.
know, um, so the NBA I still think is um, I think is the most powerful league of all the four, and excuse me, of all the four um, major league sports here in the United States.
Powerful as in what?
As powerful as in they have their own voice, and powerful as in for owning their brand and making money.
Okay.
Because football, number one, is not guaranteed.
Nope.
All right, baseball
Longevity.
longevity, and if you're not an instant hit right out the way, you're floundering in the minor leagues for a long time. And I don't even have to say anything about hockey. Hockey is the lowest paid sport.
Also got the lowest viewership,
Yeah,
just like women's
they
basketball.
don't even have a major their television contract is pretty
ESPN,
much
not even
it's
major.
yeah it's
You don't
it's,
see no
it's
game of the
garbage.
week.
It's garbage. The only time that the hockey league comes in,
Playoffs.
yes, is when playoffs start. They've got a contract for playoffs, but during the regular season, you might see a Saturday game or a Sunday game, but they're not on there like all the other sports.
No.
That have a significant television contract, and I think that's what hampers them and hurts them. But basketball, for the most part, is it is one of the hardest to to get in, one of the hardest sports, because the number one,
Only 10 people. Yeah.
the amount of players, and how extremely talented you need to be. But as far as owning their brand, I think the NBA is one of the tops to me. Um,
Well, you know which one I like the most for a reason we were just arguing? I like the Major League Baseball collective bargaining compared to anybody else.
well, because you there's a process you got to go through.
And the top player will always be the best player in that sport. Look
Yeah,
at what Shote is going to get next year. Nobody's even going to be close. We thought Trout's contract was ridiculous. Or
But he, but
somebody's,
he, but he was the best player at the time.
yeah, but nobody, Otani, because of what he can do at the plate and on the mound.
Yep.
He deserves to be, he's dominating at two. If you could be just a great pitcher and get paid, like we said, who Verlander, and you could be just a great hitter and get paid. He's both. So with the salary he's going to command and be worth it. Like if there's one athlete I say deserves to be top player, it has to be Otani because he's game changing. He's putting up the best stats. He's going to win MVP for the second year in a row.
He's playing every day.
He's playing every day. He's pitching. That's who I think should be making top dollar. It's just, I guess, the difference in collective bargaining that Brian was talking about. The NBA has a different scale, but to me, baseball has it right because you won't see like the NFL and the NBA players that aren't the top player getting paid the top.
yeah. You go to arbitration.
Yeah, and
Let's
but there's no it's going to work out fine because you look at the highest paid baseball players, they weren't just the best player for 1 year; they were the best player for the last few years, and they were rewarded
Do,
for what they've done over their career.
do you think he's going to get the 600 million?
I think he's going to be close. If anybody deserves it, I think he'll be the closest one. Nobody else even close. He'll definitely get 500 million.
Yeah, well, let's put it this way, right? So when we were looking at the pictures, right? When we were looking at the picture, if you're going to pay Scherzer $58 million,
Yeah, he's
Mm-hmm.
a
why
bum.
wouldn't you play Otani, who can do it both sides? He
Yeah.
can at the
And he's
plate.
young.
Yeah, why wouldn't you pay
He's like
him $60 million
26.
for over a period of 10 years? Why wouldn't you?
He'll be around for another 10 years.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, 58 million for Scherzer. Come on.
Hey, if you're
Who-
me,
What?
Something happened
I
to the
just hit this.
connections.
I just hit this by mistake. But anyways, if you're the Mets owner, are you sick right now? Because
Oh, he already was. He came out and said
when
that.
when Otani was 17, a scout said, "Hey, you're going to sign this kid
Oh,
right
I didn't
now."
know about that
A scout said you should sign this kid right now. He said no.
because he wasn't seeing him enough because he played over in
Yeah,
Japan.
but the scout said at 17 years old, the scout said you need to sign this guy right now. You said
And
no.
he's a big, physically imposing type person. He doesn't look like somebody who's going to break down to a little injury. Like, of course, he can still get injured, but he's tall, he's muscular, he's strong, he's fast, he
At,
can pitch.
at
Like,
17, he was throwing 100 miles an hour.
yeah,
That's crazy.
squeaky clean image. You don't have to worry about him getting in trouble. He grows the sport because of what he brings from the international audience. Like, there's so many reasons. He's bringing a whole nother market. The whole Asian market is tuned in, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning over there, and they're still tuning in to watch him pitch.
Yeah, he's an anomaly. I mean, when have we
I have no
seen?
trouble writing a blank check for
Oh
him.
yeah, no. If there's somebody who deserves to be the first $60 million man, it would definitely be him. I
Hmm.
mean, every day, and then he's on the mound every 50.
Every
That that
5 days.
that's
And that's how I
that's
think the payout should
incredible.
work.
That's
Because every
incredible.
football player and every basketball player, it's not the best players getting these top salaries. Everybody wants to outdo each other, but they're not outdoing each other on the court. Otani's outdoing people. Put your stats against me. Yeah, you're not. You can't make what I make because you ain't producing like I'm producing.
Yeah. Just his home run total alone at the All Star break is going to be more than a lot of people do the whole
Oh,
Yeah,
season.
30,
They're 30, 35 or something.
36, I think.
37
Yeah.
at the All Star break.
And then he
That's
has
crazy.
stolen bases, and then he
So
hits for average.
so you know how we were talking about basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shea Gildress Alexander is projected to be the next year. He's projected to be a
Supermax.
supermax, and what'll happen with him is he'll reset the market because he's possibly going to get paid more than
Well,
possibly going to get paid more
he's
than
Can
he's had two
OKC
great years in a row already. If he
can,
has a
can,
third one in a
can
year,
OKC afford that?
yeah
yeah, being a
yeah
small market, it's
yeah.
hard.
Now they can afford it, but you got to look to the left and to the right. What you have to the left and to the right of you, they got a lot of draft picks. They just have to make decisions.
Yeah.
The way they draft, and maybe Eddie Hunter if he's watching because we know he follows
Yeah,
OKC.
he likes the OKC Celtics.
But the way the amount of draft picks that they have, because you got to remember for the last 3 years they were taking on players, taking on salary, all for draft picks.
Yep.
So they were just stockpiling draft picks, and they got good young talent, but there comes a point in time where you just have to let it go. You have to let it go and make a decision on 1 to 3 players.
Yeah, 'cause not everybody works out, but you get a free preview.
1 to 3 players, and then after that, it's pretty much a wrap. You gotta figure a core, and you gotta roll with it. And that's the decision that you're gonna come up. But he is their franchise player, so of course you gotta start with him. You can't just say, okay, let's just let him leave, and then wait for the next big guy.
Nah, you don't want to do that.
I don't foresee that happening.
You don't want to do
Um,
that.
so yeah, they'll end up paying him. And then, like I said, you got to just build around him. Say, okay, who's going to be a good complement for him,
He's
right?
going to need a big man like Denver. Like, he's got the guard situation locked up. Now you need, a stretch center or something like that.
Well, they have the assets as far as draft luxury to go out and make things happen. When you have they're like set up even better than when the Celtics were set up. When the Celtics had all those number 1 and 2 picks, they have even more. I forgot the amount of number 1 picks that they have in the next 5 years. It's
Yeah, them in
incredible.
Houston is
Yeah, it's
ridiculous.
incredible. Well, these are both teams that were taking on salary. Okay, we need to get rid of this guy. Okay, give him to him. Give him to them.
They
Okay,
need him.
we'll take two, and we'll take 2 number 1s.
We got a
We'll
young
take it
guy.
on.
We want to see what they can do. So
Yeah,
we'll pay the cheap young guy who's performing like the veteran.
yeah. So it's just one of those things where they took on salary for the last 2 to 3 years, along with uh, guys like Russell Westbrook and stuff like that. Okay, let's send them over there. So let's see. OKC and Houston, they took on guys like Russell Westbrook. They took on guys like Al Horford. They took on a lot of huge salaries. We're talking about
Chris
35,
Paul.
$30 million. But with that, they were like, okay, we're going to take the salary on, but we want a couple of number one picks too. We'll suffer for a little while,
And
but
eventually, those high paying contracts end. So
yeah,
you got those picks that last for 10 years,
yeah,
and you just dumped some big, huge salary when
yeah.
you were still losing.
So now it's going to be a question of for what is his name again? Shea
So Gilchrist.
Gilchrist
Yeah,
Allen
Gilbert Sells.
is
Yeah.
going to be he's going to reset the market next year. It's one of those things.
Tatum's up in 1 year or two.
Tatum's up. No, Tatum's
Next year,
he
he gets
next year he
paid.
gets it.
Yep.
He qualifies for it next year. So he'll get paid based on what he basically for making first team All NBA this year. So he'll be eligible.
So
And
he don't have to make first or
nope,
second team next
Just
year.
got to
nope,
make it once. That's
nope.
my issue.
Just once
You just got to have that 1 year.
within 2 years.
Right.
Within 2 years.
2 years of your contract.
No, within your final 2 years of your
Yeah.
contract.
Within your
Yeah.
next contract. Yeah.
Yeah. With no
Well, final 2 years is
final
within 2
two
years of
years
your next contract.
final 2 years of your contract. So you can't make it 4 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning and then expect to get it, then. It's got to be so basically it's okay, show me that and within those 2 years you've proven and you've done something. There's going to be some guys that have crazy years and have career years and might make it
And then
and
can't reproduce it. Yeah.
and it might look even crazier. You see, for the most part, you see guys they're on a trend. They're upward, upward, upward. Yeah, and they deserve it. But there might be some guy that just might have a breakout year within the 2 years of his contract being out. And guess what? He's going to end up with a max contract.
Like Brown.
No, but Brown. The thing with Brown is his went up every year. So he was an all star his last 3 years.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he just popped out of anywhere.
No. All right.
It wasn't like he just popped.
But
He
the
went
way
from
the salaries
19.
are set
He
up,
went
he
from
gets to
he
be
went
that
from
number
he
one
went
player
from 19 points to
paid.
24 points. That's huge. That's huge.
Playing
Um,
alongside another superstar.
well, it doesn't make a difference.
No,
Not
I'm saying
every
how hard it is
not
to do.
not yeah. That makes it even harder when somebody who's averaging 30 points. That's even harder because if you ask me, Jalen Brown was more efficient. He was more efficient. He shot a better percentage than Tatum because Tatum needed more volume, but Jalen Brown didn't. He was more accurate in his shooting. So there's a big difference, a big difference there. But so we talked about basketball, we talked about baseball, we talked about football, and we talked about soccer. But the one underlying theme that's there is the fan. The fan is the one who is ultimately going to be responsible for paying all these salaries. As you said, in
Mm.
Boston, they're going to jack the prices up. So it's this easy, all right? I want to say 2 years ago, um, the average increase for Boston sports was at like almost 4% every year an increase for
Well,
It's
three
gonna
and a
be
half,
higher now.
4%. It doesn't make a difference. It's going to keep going up.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't. It
Yes,
doesn't go the opposite
that's
way.
consistent with everything about Boston. Their rent's up there too.
Oh yeah.
Their pay per capita, the pay they pay
Top
their
five,
employees is up there. Their
top
rent,
top five in the country.
everything is expensive in Boston.
Top five in the country. You could thank the hospitals as being a driving factor. Um, Having the top hospitals in the
They gotta
country.
pay those people. There's three major ones, right? In
Yeah,
Boston.
yeah. Having the top hospitals in. We're not talking
The
about the United
world.
States. We're talking about
Yeah.
the world, and some of the most prestigious colleges too.
Oh
To
yeah,
go along with it,
Harvard,
you
Tufts.
know, it doesn't make for an easy state
You.
to live in. And to boot, we're a commonwealth.
Yeah.
you know, but it's we're looking at the fans that are paying
And,
for it.
and the reason I'm so concerned about that, Boston's in the rare air of having two players on the same team at the same time that are going to qualify for max. I don't think there's anybody else that's going to have two players.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is going to strap them. It's hard enough to pay one. If it was just Jalen Brown,
Well, no. So this is and pretty much all the sports. I haven't seen not one person that hasn't said it. Okay, so they've got this year and they've got next year to try to win a championship. If they don't win a championship and aren't committed to to pay over the luxury tax and stuff like that, you're probably going to see Jalen Brown gone.
Hmm.
You just can't. It is.
Oh, he
It's
has a no
strapping.
trade in his
It's
contract though.
it's strapped. You're strapping. You're getting strapped.
I know he has to approve it. He has a no trade clause in his
It's
contract.
the
He
it,
said that during his press
it's the
conference.
the thing. What's going to end up happening is it's got to be a preferred destination.
Atlanta, his
It's got to be
hometown.
a preferred destination. That's what that boils down to. But there's no way
Two people on the same team
you're
making that
going to
money.
be able to sign. So when you're talking about that amount of money, you're talking about more than 50% of your salary is being absorbed by
Well,
two players.
they're saying Horford's going to retire. What does he make? I know he took less money, but that money can go toward Tatum. But I think he took less money for this year, right?
Yeah, he got his guaranteed money. He got his guaranteed money
Last contract.
last year. He took us. I think he's only going to be making like I want to say $12 million or
Oh,
something like that. $12 to $15 million. Nothing big, nothing
nothing,
crazy.
nothing big towards 70 million
No,
either.
no. So it remains to be seen. But in closing, the fans are the ones who set the market. When the fans say no and they start showing up at the turnstiles, then you might see
And
drops in.
you might see your cable bills continue to go up because these TVs contracts that are getting doled out are going to have to figure out a way to.
What are you talking about? I do see my cable
Yeah,
bills
yeah,
off the
yeah, yeah.
meters.
But I'm saying that's just another reason they're going to say if you want to see live NBA action, or they're going to block it. I remember on DirecTV, they blocked Fox Sports during football season. Like halfway through the season, they had a contract dispute, and I lived in Fairhaven. I had DirecTV, and every Sunday I'd watch the game. Then all of a sudden, no games on Fox. Why? Because they said the NFL TV contracts had gotten too big. They didn't want to renegotiate, and uh, the NFL and DirecTV couldn't come to an agreement, so they dropped Fox. All their TV programming, all their sports. That's the type of stuff we're going to have to deal with. All of a sudden, your local Comcast says, "Hey, man, we're not going to carry the games on NBC no more because they're showing the most NBA games, and we can't afford that TV contract."
So, what's the chances that you can get Direct TV probably for like $10 a month?
You might be able to.
Yeah,
Because
without watching
no NFL
NFL
contract,
ticket
no NFL,
and
no
no
NFL,
Fox.
no NFL ticket, right? And it's gone to it's the
Yahoo,
contract is no
YouTube,
YouTube.
YouTube.
So YouTube is going to be the preferred destination when it comes to NFL. You're going to see Direct TV like literally giving away this subscription.
All the bars are going to get rid of DirecTV.
Yeah, there's no need to have it. Everybody's going to sign up for
Place we
YouTube
go.
TV. You know,
Mhm.
it's just one of those things. It's the revolving door of let's see who owns the power. They've DirecTV's had the
Forever.
NFL forever.
I remember when JB was one of the first people to have it. We used to go to Cottage Street.
Yeah.
Oh, we got every game.
So now it's gonna flip. What I would like to see is just for them to have an on demand where you could just order a game
And
anywhere.
pay $3 to watch that
Oh,
game.
you ain't gonna pay
You ain't
$3.
paying $3.
No, per game because
Yeah.
DirecTV, you see every game.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
but
just
it's
pick
going.
the game you want. You just
I-
can't go back and forth between
I
all the
would say
games.
if they ever came out with something like that, you're probably
Just like the
playing,
fights.
You're probably playing something probably around $40 to $50 a game.
I don't
You
know
would
the
have
game.
to.
Something close to a ticket price.
I don't know if you're gonna pay
See, that's
$300.
You're
I'm
not,
not-
going live.
I'm
You
not
can't
saying
get an
that, but-
autograph.
Something close to a ticket price, I think.
I would say probably something $50, $60 around there. I couldn't see paying,
So you know what's going to happen?
$200.
The same thing that happens during fights. One person will get it. Everybody will go over there and watch it. So only one household will order it, but 5 other households might be over there watching it. So you're not going to order it in those other households.
So this is called bootlegging 101.
Not really.
No, it is bootlegging.
Why not? If I pay for it and I invite people to come over and watch it, I still paid for it. You
Yeah.
can't tell me who to have over my house. Now, if I was streaming it, that's bootlegging it.
Well, it's bootlegging because I know if I had to pay $300, somebody's kicking in like $5 or $10 and coming and watching. I'm not letting you come in my house and watch it. No. I'm gonna be getting a piece of the pie too.
You're going to help me pay for this.
Damn Skippy. All right, so we can move on from sports salaries and talk about Bronny James.
Mm-hmm.
So as you know, Bronny James was involved. What was it? Monday?
2 days ago.
Monday?
Yeah.
Monday or
Tuesday.
Tuesday. I'm not.
I
I'm
think
not
it
sure.
was
A couple of
Tuesday, and we
days.
found out about it Wednesday because
A
when we
couple of
heard about
days.
it, it had happened the day
No,
before.
it
No,
was
no, no,
Monday.
no, no. It was
happened
early.
Monday. Happened Monday. We found out about
Yeah,
it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
whatever day it was, it happened the day
Um,
after.
but at any rate, he suffered what appeared to be
Cardiac
cardiac
arrest.
arrest. Um, we still it's kind of still
18.
it's still kind of foggy. A lot of the details. I think they purposely kept a lot of things confidential. Today, fortunately for him, he was released
Thank
from
God.
the hospital, and I'm sure they're gonna probably have him see a
Oh yeah,
cardiologist,
for a
follow
while.
up for a while.
No
Um,
physical activity for the upcoming
yeah.
foreseeable future.
So listen, if I'm LeBron, I'm saying, listen, you know what? You're taking at least a good 6 months off. You're going to go through.
Constant
You're
test.
going to go through rigorous tests, and it's going to be a crawl before you can go back to normal
But not for
activities.
nothing. LeBron got any doctor he pretty much wants for his
Exactly.
team.
But
So
but would you
no, I wouldn't
knowing
risk it.
knowing full well what's happening to athletes before? How many times did we see the Hank Gathers? Did we see the
Reggie
Reggie
Hey,
Lewis.
30
Lewis's?
years today for Reggie
Yeah.
Lewis.
Yes. How many times did we see them go out and get second opinions and then rush back and
Had so
then
many opinions till it
and then
matched up to their way of
But
thinking.
end
but
up with a fatal?
technology is totally different
Yes,
nowadays.
I get it.
But it
I get
still
it. But
Oh,
happens.
it's still a
it
chance.
still definitely
You
happens.
know,
But
there's nothing that says okay, you're not. And I already forgot his name. The football player, for the Buffalo
yeah,
Bills.
Hamlin.
Yeah, Hamlin. He's back to training camp, full workout,
Well, his
no
was a freak
restrictions.
accident. It wasn't a hot condition.
Yeah,
He just got hit at a
yeah,
perfect time
yeah,
with the hot
perfect.
stops.
Yeah,
And
yeah. But
but he's dead.
yeah, he
He's dead.
died on the
Yeah,
field.
I mean that's crazy.
real
Um,
MVPs at Buffalo Bills training staff.
but it turns out to be. Now let's talk about cardiac arrest in such young people. Do we Can we say that it's it's attributed to kids working out so rigorously at
That's
an
part of
early
it.
age?
That's
A
part of
lot of
it.
stress and
Pushing
strain
yourself
on
too
their heart.
much, especially
Um,
during heat, because it seems like it's always
When it's hot.
when in the summertime we see this just happened. Football double sessions, which I think they eliminated double
oh,
sessions in
those
high
have been
school, right?
gone. Those
There's
this
no more double
that
session.
double
Yeah,
session's
but
been gone.
yeah, but I'm saying but football's going to practice outside. It's only mid 80s and we're dying out there. Like imagine
Well,
going through football
correct me
practice.
if I'm wrong. When the heat index reaches a certain level, they won't practice, right?
Nowadays.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, nowadays.
No,
Yeah,
back in the day, I know that.
I think it's
but I think
90.
that's a major
It's
reason.
got to be less than 90.
I think it was 90.
Really?
Yeah.
So I can give you some. I can give you some history as far as the any mass uh, training with law enforcement. Any cadets that are going through, you cannot run or work out when it hits 85
That's so put in
because of
place to protect people.
what's former people running and dropping dead. When I was going through the academy, 85 degrees. If it hit 85 degrees, you are not running.
So
You
heat's a
you
factor.
would
I wish.
walk.
Pushing yourself too much is a factor.
You would
I,
walk.
I did my class in November.
I
Oh,
did
that's a
my
little
I did my
easier.
class in July,
Yeah, I
the
wish.
most extreme heat.
I wish.
So I would say probably like every third day we couldn't run. We couldn't run
I was
because of the heat index, and you were constantly walking around with your bottle, with water,
Stay
hydrating,
hydrated.
Yeah, we
hydrating.
still had to do that
Oh yeah,
regardless too.
yeah. You stay hydrated and all that stuff. But with the new collective bargaining agreements, there's no 2 days. Um, they're limited in practice. And the crazy part about it, on I just seen, I forget what athlete it was. It was a basketball athlete. Oh, it was Gilbert Arenas. They were talking to him, and he said, he was talking about being in shape, and he said, something. He goes, due to the fact that they don't even practice anymore. He goes, more than half of the NBA players are out of shape.
Then try to push themselves during the game.
He said more than half of them are out of shape. He said Obviously he was obviously going back to his time, which obviously collective bargaining agreement, they can only practice so many times for so long. There's restrictions, time restrictions. And he said, if you look at half of the players, within 2 to 3 minutes in the game, he said they're huffing and puffing, bent over. And he said, how could this be if you're supposed to be a world class
Your
athlete?
job is just to be an athlete.
Yeah. And
You don't got 8 hours a day. You got to be somewhere.
he said,
Practice 2 hours.
when he was talking about obviously during his time, um, when they practice, he said there would be, at some point in time, they'd be doing the bleachers. They'd be running up and down the bleach. He goes, in today's NBA, they don't even run sprints. They don't even run sprints. Their sprinting consists of practice.
That's how you
Whatever
build up
happens in
explosive
practice.
energy sprints.
So that's one of the things. But what they did back in the day as to what did now is obviously far less. But yet they talk about how much more uh, you know world class athletes there are, and how the physical, how great a shape they're in. But you get some players that look and they're like, nah, man, these dudes aren't in shape. They you know they
James Harden
they
never
they're
been
they're,
shape.
ve- they're very out of shape. Well, he put the fat suit back on. He wants to get
You seen
traded.
that?
Yeah, he put the fat suit on. He put
Yeah.
the what was that character that Martin
Oh,
Lawrence
Eddie
played?
Murphy did.
No,
That
Mike Lawrence.
yeah,
Oh,
Big
the
Mama.
Big
Crump.
He
Mama.
put the Big Mama suit.
Oh.
He put the Big Mama
Because
outfit
Eddie
on.
Murphy did one too.
Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence both did it.
Yeah, he put the Big Mama suit on because he wants to get traded. But yeah. So as far as Bronny goes, it's just yeah. For me, if he were my son, I would say, listen, man. Basketball. You can always have basketball, but we can't bring you back
Yeah,
if
they don't
And
need
you're
something
the
were to
money.
go
already a
wrong.
You
billionaire
don't need
family.
the
You
money.
don't
Exactly.
need. You
You
don't.
don't need the money.
Exactly.
LeBron wants him to play, but not at the risk of
No. If
his
I
health
had
being up.
to, if
You
I
can take care of him 3 generations worth.
if I'm his dad, I'm giving him a 6 month window before he can ever even step on with no restrictions.
Well,
I'm having you tested and tested and tested and retested and retested. I'm
but
sorry.
you know what's going to supersede that too? The kid that fell out at the University of Florida, he couldn't play. He finally transferred. He played at Kansas State last year. He was on the team that made that run.
Hmm.
I'm trying to remember his name. He got drafted this year in the second round. But none of the school's insurance would clear him to play because they're afraid of lawsuits. I can't clear you if you got a heart condition. That dude almost died on the court 2 years ago for the University of Florida, one of their best players. He couldn't. Florida would not let him play on the court because they were like, we don't want to put you at risk or the school at risk. He sat out a year. He ran around like we were saying and got medical opinions from other doctors, just like Reggie Lewis did, unfortunately, until he found one that cleared him. So he had to transfer to Kansas State to play. And he played last year without incident. But we don't know if that's a reoccurring problem. Now he's on to the NBA.
Yeah, it's just one of those
But schools
things.
aren't going to let you play. USC's not going to clear him. They don't want a lawsuit. Like, yo, we're not letting you play right now. Like, you might have to sit out a whole year before.
Yeah, I mean, me as a parent,
That's the
um,
main concern.
I'm looking at it from the standpoint of, as we both, as all of us said, there's no need for money.
Nope.
Nope.
Money isn't an issue.
Billionaire dad.
Money isn't an issue. And as a dad, I'm saying to myself, listen, I don't even want. You know what? I have to look at his career in a different light now. I have to protect him from his own self, because I'm sure, with all the pressure of his dad being LeBron James, the competitive side in Bronny probably wants to at least make it to the NBA. Um, we can look at a player with, in the same perspective, Shaquille O'Neal's son,
Yep.
Sharif.
Sharif,
Open heart surgery.
open
And
heart
everything.
surgery. That's right.
That brings up the question: are they doing enough to check for heart conditions in these physicals? Because Derek was saying before the show, the NCAA has one of the strictest, most demanding, but that might be for every other area. But maybe they need to especially concentrate on your heart,
Yeah.
because that's not something that's being scrutinized enough. There's too many. Brian just had a stat when we were looking. how many people in other sports? We're thinking people ain't in shape in basketball. There's swimmers. There's freaking. You had the list right before we came
Soccer,
on. So many other sports.
no
Young
swimming,
kids are
soccer.
having these same problems.
Yeah, it says it. Here's a stat for you right here. Men are the most likely to suffer
Yep.
sudden cardiac death in 38,000, as opposed to one in 122,000 for female athletes. And basketball players are at the highest risk. All right.
Something about basketball. They get
While
ridiculous.
basketball players only make up 4% of all male athletes in the National Collegiate Athletic Association, 20% of the NCAA sudden cardiac deaths happen in basketball players. So, I mean, they have the highest rate going, um, which would make me look at it in a different light if I happen to have been the parents of Bronny James. Number one being, there's no need for you to go out there and risk your life.
Nope.
You don't need to uplift your family. Your family's already sitting on top of the world. It would be more important for me to make sure, at least if I gave you an extended period of time, in and put a cap at, okay, 6 months. In 6 months, I want to see you hit this benchmark. All right, and if you can do it, then yeah, it would be fine. But I mean, I know you said that he's got the best doctors, but I'd be stressing the hell out of those doctors
No, yeah, definitely.
about the do's and the don'ts, and you know
Shoot, I got another one for you.
as a parent, I'm looking out for my son. You can't let him look up because he's only 18 years
Hey,
old.
Brian, what about their other son? Do you get fearful and let him keep playing, or do you stop pulling the reins back on him now before?
No, so what I would do is, I would have him checked out right now.
Yeah,
I'd have
Everybody's
him.
different, man.
Yeah, no, everybody's
but
different.
they're going to get him checked out, like he
Oh,
said,
of
a lot
course.
more scrutinized than before.
So
They didn't think Bronny was at risk.
So it would be, just as you and I would have a physical every year. I would say, I'd probably make him go 2 times a year and see
A
a
hot specialist.
cardiologist
Yeah, yeah.
and say, okay, is it good? Look at his heart. I want a 3D image. Do you see an enlarged? Do you
And
see
look at it
anything
from an
going?
athlete's point of view,
You
not just
know,
your average person, because you're putting obviously more stress being a professional athlete.
and we'd have to go from there. Like I said, you see the Reggie Lewis, the Hank Gathers,
But
and most recently there's been more, but you have to there has to be some type of safeguard against young athletes. If I had to look at, I'm not a cardiologist, I'm not a doctor, but kids are starting younger now. We see kids now starting at the age of 7, 6, years old. And back when we were younger, we didn't have all the training that they're doing. And we know that the ACLs, the MCI, all that stuff that gets torn now didn't happen as frequently as it did back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. It's as a result of starting younger, and
And
putting more
they're
stress.
getting bigger and stronger.
Yeah,
And now that makes you think. All these supplements. What the hell's in all these supplements that these kids are taking?
yeah,
allow you to go a little harder for a little longer,
Yeah.
and your body's just like, I can only take so much. Like when they told me about Achilles tendons, when Mark Farrier blew his, and Brian had about, it's like the elastic, a brand new elastic. Oh, it stretches this much, but if you don't use it as much, you start slowing down. Now you go to use it, you go full steam ahead and snap. Like it's
Like these supplements, it's
these supplements
like
are a good thing
crazy.
and a bad thing.
yeah. I just think, you know, they credit, training regimen and all that stuff, but like I said, you didn't see that. You didn't see all the freak accidents in regards to, like I said, ACLs and MCIs and all this stuff happening in the 90s, and they happened so. You see a lot of them just non contact. Just you see a player running, then poof, gone. You didn't see that happen back in the day. Is it because kids are starting so young? Is it because they're putting a lot of stress and strain on their bodies at an early age, where maybe some of their their tendons, their bones, or whatever the case is, are more apt to
I think I
come
think
into
I think
play.
kids are like working out more,
Yeah,
working out harder now
yeah.
than they did back in the
Oh,
day.
that's definite.
So
Yep. And this is the second major debilitating situation we've seen in sports. The other one was more football related. You guys know what I'm referring to? Concussions. Now
Oh,
they took out head on collisions and all the protect because, like you said, the kids start young. I remember all the days football, bully in the ring.
but
Call out your name, call out my name, and two people going head on trying to get the ball in the middle or whatever. Can't do that no more
the
because all
helmet,
those years of high impact to the
the
head.
helmets are lighter. They say that they're better prepared, whatever, for that, but they're lighter. Kids are faster. Kids are stronger from all
Yeah,
this
all
working
those
out and all
same
this regiments.
characteristics. It's
So
bigger, stronger, faster kids at a younger age and more impact.
yeah, it's tough. But hopefully, um, you know, uh, things work out well for him. We know that he's going to have some of the best care as far as physicians go, because obviously, money brings the best out, and there's no shortage of money in
no
the
shortage at all.
the LeBron James household.
No,
That's for sure. Um, and yeah, we just basically hope that he recovers and he can go on to a healthy and continue a healthy career in his college career that hasn't even begun yet.
And we can only hope that in the future it brings attention to high school athletes, college athletes, and pro athletes because we've seen this happen to people on all the levels. They all have to tighten up their physicals and make a concentrated effort to check out people's hearts. It's not just basketball. Everybody that comes into school that wants to play sports, that should be a criteria now. Where just like you get a regular physical, a hot, what do they call it, a cardiogram, I don't know, something,
mammogram or something like that.
whatever they
Or
do that
cardiogram.
checks
No,
out
No,
your heart.
mammograms.
That's the
EKG.
girls.
Yeah.
EKG. Everybody that
You
plays
get a
sports
mammogram.
should have an EKG.
I was talking
Yeah.
about girls' sports.
Yeah, every sport
um,
because it's happening in high school. We've seen high school kids dropping. We've seen college kids dropping. We've seen pro people dropping. So
yeah, it's just one of those
it's just got to be
things.
more concentration on that.
It's one of those things where I think as time progresses, you'll see more more rules and regulations that might get implemented as a result of this. I know that it's one out of so many, but one is too many. Fortunately for Bronny, it wasn't anything that was that took his life. You know, and we can talk about it now and say there might be preventive measures put in place in the future for someone else. Um, but it's just one of those things. I don't I don't know. Um, you know, not all sports. Um, not all sports. Obviously, you talk about basketball, football, baseball. You have track where you do different stuff. But you know, once you make it standard for one, then it should be
Do it
across
for
the
all.
board.
Yes,
Should be
yes,
across the board.
I agree.
To get into any type of sport, you have to go through an EKG, and at the minimum, you know, um, because there are some kids that have, that might have enlarged hearts. You don't know. Just that one test might pick it up.
Yep.
You know, um, uh, 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 what do you call it? A irregular eurythmia, whatever they call it, something of that nature. And if you can catch it, one is better than none.
That and large shots. There's more than one heart condition. There's like three or four different situations you got to be aware of in today's day and age.
Yeah. And some people don't know until they go. Let's just talk about, um, if you go for a physical and you do blood work, right? There might be something in your blood work that might save your life that you had
Yeah,
no, idea about it. But because you did that blood work, boom, there you go. Um, but these are the steps that they gotta go through and do for some of these young kids. It's here. It's present. So you have to talk about it. Not be quiet about it until the next one happens, and then say, what if we did, or what could we have done? Be be proactive, not reactive. That's the thing that they need to do with the and it needs to start at a young age, the high school, and then just keep it parallel and work your way all the way up until you in the college ranks. We know in the pro ranks they're very rigorous. You're an investment, so they're putting you through all kinds of tests. Um, but it needs to be done. It needs to be start early because we're seeing situations like this, and it can't go left unsaid. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll talk. We'll talk.
LeBron James.
What will we talk? What'd you say?
LeBron James story.
LeBron James
Not
story.
all news is bad for the
Yeah.
James family.
Yeah. We'll talk about LeBron James, and we'll talk about some boxing. All right. So make sure you keep it locked and tuned right here to WNB1 Radio and Straight to the Point Sports. Business which has over 15 years experience providing quality cleaning services in all of Bristol County. Did we mention that they provide services for homes, schools, churches, medical facilities, office buildings, restaurants, post-construction cleanups, and after-party cleanups? New Beat Cleaning has customized packages that tailor to deep cleaning, whether you're moving into a new home, moving out of an old home, or you simply want that vacation home clean. New Beat Cleaning is flexible in booking appointments weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or if you just want a one-time clean. New Beat Cleaning takes pride in the level of service in which they provide, so they have a higher level of cleaning experience that they can add to a business to ensure that they are up to code and compliant with cleaning regulations. You can rest assured that once they clean a service location, all products and equipments are used solely for that location only. No mop or no rag is used and transferred to another location where germs can be spread. They pride themselves on quality service, and they do the same with their employees by offering competitive wages as well as flexible schedules. Remember, cleaning service is the perfect gift for realtors looking for closing gifts or for showing your appreciation by helping someone take a break. No job is too big or too small for New Beat Cleaning Services, so give them a call at 508-974-4815. Or visit their website at www.newb-cleaning.com. And be sure to mention that WMB1 Radio sent you.
If you're facing criminal charges or were involved in an accident resulting in a personal injury, call John B. Seed today. As a former prosecutor turned defense attorney, John Seed has the experience to represent you in your case. With years of training and courtroom experience in the areas of criminal law and DUI law, John Seed can help you. Call today. Responsive results. Attorney John B. Seed. Schedule a no-obligation consultation today online at johnseedlaw.com.
This hour of WMB1 Radio is sponsored in part by Port Royal Lounge and Cigar Bar, which is located at 26 South Water Street in New Bedford, Mass. Port Royal is conveniently located just a short walk from the Island Ferries in historic downtown New Bedford. Port Royal is the newest addition to the city's electric bar, restaurant, and nightlife scene, where they specialize in serving top-shelf vodkas, whiskeys, tequilas, wines, rums, as well as a plentiful variety of bottled beer, craft beer, and signature cocktails. Port Royal also offers a wide variety of today's best-selling premium cigars for a discerning clientele. Some of the cigars in stock include Acid by Drew Estate, Monte Cristo, Macunda, Cohiba, Rocky Patel, Romeo and Julieta, My Father's, and Nub. So go ahead and head on down to Port Royal and enjoy an adult beverage along with a cigar. And be sure to tell them that WNB1 Radio sent you. Have you made that New Year's resolution to get into shape and you still haven't followed through with it? Then you need to join KO Gym.
The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
KO Gym is located at 50 Conduit Street in the north end of New Bedford, within the historic mills in a 5,000 square foot space, within plenty of room to train for social distancing, and the facility has unlimited parking outside. KO Gym offers exclusive training in Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, grappling, jiu-jitsu, as well as strength and conditioning programs. So if you're looking to train to get in the shade to train for self-defense, or if you're looking to train to compete professionally, KO Gym has experienced professional staff to help you obtain your goal. They also offer one-on-one personal training as well as group classes to satisfy everyone's needs. So go ahead and let KO Gym help you make that change for a healthy body and a healthy mind. And also tell them that WMB1 Radio made the referral for you.
Is your house in need of a good paint job?
We have the perfect solution for you. Yes, we can house paint. Yes, we can painting paints everything from interior to exterior projects.
From dining room, living room, pantries to cellars, or if you're in need of a total makeover where the outside of your home needs a new paint job, then Yes We Can House Painting is the perfect painting service for you. With 15 years of experience, Yes We Can House Painting will give you a professional makeover that will have your neighbors glowing with envy.
Call Yes We Can at 774-510-4840 or email them at yeswecanpainting@gmail.com. And also tell them that your friends here at WMB1 Radio sent you.
Reliable Bus Lines Incorporated has been a leader in the school bus industry for over 40 years. Founded in 1980, Reliable Bus Lines Incorporated has provided the South Coast and surrounding areas of the Commonwealth transportation services ranging from private to contracted school bus and van services for corporate transportation. Specializing in school bus transportation, Reliable Bus Lines cares about your precious cargo. Our drivers are trained and certified and understand the importance of being on time and getting students to and from school safely. A staple in the greater New Bedford region, Reliable Bus Lines Incorporated is a women and minority-owned company. Our staff prides itself on being diverse, professional, and helpful. Call now to book your next outing, 508-992-0342. So come and take a ride with Reliable Bus, the bus you can trust. And don't forget to tell them that WNB1 Radio sent you. It's no secret that the trucking industry is struggling for drivers. So why not look for a school that can get you the credentials that you need to start that new career? Get on the road to success with J&J Driving School and Logistics Incorporated, located at 978 Nash Road in New Bedford, Massachusetts. J&J is a Black and woman-owned trade school leading the South Coast in CDL training. J&J offers the most comprehensive training programs for CDLs A, B, and school bus training. Don't let opportunities drive right by you. Go and see our friends at J&J and get your CDL career started right away. And be sure to tell them that WNB1 Radio sent you.
Welcome back to WMB1 Radio and Straight to the Point Sports. Remember, phone lines are open 774-425-2631. If you feel the need that you want to get something in, or just simply agree to disagree with us, we're open to that.
I like that. I like when you disagree with me.
Yeah, there you go. Agree to disagree or agree to agree. It doesn't make a difference. Whatever the case is, 774-425-2631 is the call-in number. All right, so we're going to move on. So LeBron James, the community activist. You could take that away, Steve.
Hey, we all know LeBron James for the most obvious reasons, his exploits on the court. But what he's doing off the court to me is true MVP of life. Everybody talks about how much money these athletes. We had a segment earlier. LeBron's one of those athletes, but he's maximized his money and put it to the best possible use. He's opened schools in his hometown of Akron, Ohio. I forgot the name of the school.
Something Brotherhood or something like that.
But you have to sign a contract to go.
Yeah.
And it's free tuition because he covers it. He built the schools. He pays the teachers. And then he one-upped it even more. He bought apartment buildings for low income families to live in rent free as long as your student is attending his school. Academics is a high priority. Sports is on the back burner. He wants people in the inner cities to afford to be able to get a good education. His eyes on the prize because
I promise.
Yeah,
I
I
promise.
promise.
Yep. And you have to make that promise. He makes you sign a contract. If your grades drop below a certain point, you're out of the school.
Holding
So,
people accountable.
yeah. But look at the perks. He just recently, on the video that we all looked at earlier today, it showed he bought several apartment complexes, and every parent that has a kid in that school lives rent free on his dime as long as your kid's carrying a 70 or above average. Free education.
That's
He's
not
getting the
hard either.
best teachers. He's taking away any excuse you can have. Oh, I go home and there's no heat. We got no food. That's going to be next. He's going to become his own welfare system. Oh, you're in my school. You're going to get a certain allotment of groceries every week. You're going to get. I can't believe that, and it's incredible. It made my heart smile when I read a story like that. And he's not the only one who does it, but he's the one that they're talking about now because our buddy from formerly of ESPN, Jalen Rose, does the same thing in Detroit. Not quite to the level, but pretty damn close. Star athletes making a lot of money, giving back to their community. And that's why I'm hoping Brian's guy, Jalen Brown, might be the next in this legacy. I wouldn't be surprised if he does that in the Boston area and the Atlanta area. He's making all this money. And during his press conference, that was one of the things he highlighted. I want to give back to the youth of my community. It's not just about me. It helps. So when people make that money and they have this type of train of thought, then I don't mind them making all that type of money. But kudos to LeBron James, Jalen Rose, and hopefully we see brother Jalen Brown do the same thing.
All right. So the school implements specialized programming from a longer school day to its STEM curriculum with We Are Family philosophy tailored to these students that creates a culture conducive to social emotional learning. I Promise School also provides a wraparound supports that educates the whole person with a focus on both academics and character building. Additionally, there is an international effort to engage the entire family with an on campus family resource center
Hmm.
and regular events requiring parent participation in order to create supportive environment both in the classroom and at home. So
You know
that's
what I
this.
wonder? Does the school department in that area recognize their curriculum?
You
Because
have to be. You have to.
he probably extends it. They'll probably have more cultural history that they don't teach in the traditional schools. As long as he meets the core criteria, I think he can still. You said long school days, right? So he
Longer
just
school
created
days.
more time to fit in maybe more Black history stuff or world history stuff that our people have been involved with. That is just not. It's just not in the regular everyday public school curriculum.
Yeah. Um, Here's some more history behind it. Um, as one of this generation's greatest athletes, LeBron James has channeled his global reach, influence, and passion into positively impacting the lives of those around him. With education as the driving force of change, the LeBron James Family Foundation is not only spreading that impact and involving the lives of inner city students and families, but also shifting the course of initiative community. Uh, Focusing on his hometown of Akron, the foundation I Promise program uh, provides year-round resources, access to opportunities, supportive skill development, constant encouragement, and other wraparound supports to more than 1,300 Akron public school students who have all been guaranteed college scholarships if they do their part. These efforts have culminated in the groundbreaking new public school, the I Promise School, that is taking the initiative to approach to providing a challenging, supportive, and life changing education, creating a new model for an urban public education.
Wow, especially geared toward kids from the urban cities
So
that
they are actually promised
college
a college
education.
education
Yep.
if they go through and meet all the requirements in the I Promise school, which is
That's a lot for one person to do, but
1,300 kids.
1,300 kids, you're taking care of their education. You're taking care of getting the best teachers in there, which is a hefty cost. You're taking care of a lot of living expenses, and then you're promising college scholarships. You that's somebody you want to see make $100 million a year.
And it costed him like 8 million to do all that.
Yeah. Now he's funding most of this out of his own pocket. I think he gets some funding, but he's doing at least 80% of the funding out of his pocket.
That's
Oh, and his manager.
that is
His whole
the,
team's doing it.
yeah, that is the
Rich, whatever.
Rich Ball.
Yeah.
That is the
Mission statement, the goal.
the definition of giving back.
Yes.
It doesn't get any better than that. We often hear a lot of stories of athletes, and some of the kind things that they do. But this school's been open, I want to say, for what now, 4 or 5 years? I think 4 or 5 years. I want to say it's been open. Um, but I mean, look at all the stuff they do. People can, and I always say this. All right, everybody hates a winner, and a lot of people don't like LeBron James because the constant comparison that he kind of forces with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan was different. Michael Jordan never said I was the best. All right. But this is a time in a different era that we live in. We live in the age of social media, and I get it. I get the fact that athletes like to show out, and he does the whole crown thing, like the king. Um, you know, Part of it was made up by media, and another part of it is made up by him.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a 50-50 love-hate relationship that was put on him at such a early age, because let's face it, we're always looking for the next Michael Jordan.
The chosen one. That's what it
Yes.
came out with.
We're always looking for the next Michael Jordan. Look, prior to LeBron, how many busts did we have
Oh, wow.
that came through?
Harold Mine.
There was many of them, you know. And the one good thing I can say about LeBron James, not only does he do stuff like this, to be a role model as a that came from a single family home, and in his 20 years of being in the NBA, he has not had one scandal.
Uh,
All right. Even somebody like Michael Jordan had some scandals fall on him. Never could prove them, but you don't even have him with LeBron James. You don't even sniff him. I mean, what have we ever seen him? Infidelity, gambling,
Definitely nothing criminal.
drinking, getting in trouble with law. Never. He's never had not one tiff, to date with his career. So and especially now, you look every day and there's an athlete you turn and they're in trouble in some form of another with law enforcement.
Yep.
Breaking the law somehow, going out, accusations of rape, all kinds of things. Domestic violence, yes. And he's the furthest away from this. That's what I admire the most about him. He's For someone who's so high profile, he's managed to stay below the radar and avoid all those pitfalls that a lot of athletes get into. Um, and just further laments, to what he's doing to put him up in the rear air of somebody who's a true activist, and who's doing stuff for the community. That was the one knock on Michael Jordan, that he didn't go out and he didn't do enough. He didn't use his voice. But then again, you got to realize it was a different time, a different era. And with social media, there's so much that you do know about that you didn't know back then. So the times are different. Not trying to make any excuses for Michael Jordan, because he could have done better. There were athletes. I mean, if Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was doing it 25 years before him, there's no reason why he couldn't have done it. It's just where your heart at. And some people by default have it in them. Other people don't. So um, it is what you do, and what he's doing is it's it's great. It's great to see, and hopefully, as Steve said, there's other guys that can
Carry
use
that torch. Yeah.
use um, their celebrity status along with their over their crazy salaries to go out and I mean literally think about it. What's 8 million out of what was his contract? 300. What's Jalen Brown's
304.
304? What's
5 years.
what's
304.
8 out of 304?
Nothing.
That's like that's less than a tip. All right. Um, but yeah, if you can do stuff like this and give back, that's a great thing. That's a great thing.
The school was opened in 2018, July.
All right, so we're looking at 7 years.
Yeah, and it's
Hold on,
just gotten bigger and
hold on,
7
better.
years. This year will make
Six-
7 years.
6 years.
6 years.
Oh.
Going on a 6 year. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, but it's a
It's an
it's a great
incredible
thing.
story.
Yeah, but Warwick Dunn's been doing something like that too, but not with a school.
Giving away houses
he was-
in
yeah.
honor of his mother.
Yeah.
Because his
And
mother
he's been
passed
doing that for a
away.
while.
Yeah. And Jalen Rose does it.
Yeah.
Jalen's been doing it. He might not get the level of notoriety that LeBron, because LeBron's doing it on a little big schedule, but Jalen isn't looking for attention. He's just doing it for the inner city youth of Detroit. Akron, another challenged area with minorities.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Basketball.
I love when he does that.
And that's what I admired about Jalen Brown's press conference. That's the thing I came away with the most. He was very well spoken. He looked like he was ready to try to earn the money, but it's more about me, how much money I can get. He is envisioning along the lines of a LeBron James, Jalen Rose, and others that how can I give back to the community? Because this is an opportunity that we can help ourselves because there's only so much help we're going to get from mainstream society. So we have to look at almost like a Black Wall Street type mentality. Like the people in our community that are making it like that have to be the ones to step up. The Oprahs, the LeBrons, the Tyler Perrys. The people who got money like that have to be the ones to step up and make a difference in our inner city communities. We can't wait for somebody else to do it for us.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we'll move on to our
Ding, ding.
boxing.
A great fight that just happened 2 days ago.
All right, you can lead off with that as well.
Anybody know how to pronounce the name?
Nope.
All right, I'm going to do the best I can. I know who he
That
is.
name is
But Japanese 122-pound division champion. Well, he was 115 lineal champion. He moved up to 122. His name's Naoya Inoue. And he fought.
in no way are you right.
Yeah. Naoya. That's his first name.
In no way did you
Naoya
say that name correctly.
Inoue. And he fought American Stephen Fulton, who was the lineal champion at 122. And had never lost and was considered best in that division and was, just outside the pound for pound. But because of the low weight divisions, he doesn't get the notoriety that some of the upper division classes get. But this Japanese fighter, nicknamed the Monster, we'll just call him the Monster because it's easier to say. He had wiped out everybody at 115. He moved up to 122 and went straight for the championship belt.
No tune-up.
No tune-up. And he paid Fulton more money to go fight in Japan. That's the only knock against this guy is he doesn't fight outside Japan. But when you got 60,000 people at a fight, it's kind of hard to, how much money is available when 60,000 people are buying tickets. Then you got pay-per-view and all that. But he fought Stephen Fulton, who is no slouch, had never been down, had never lost, whatever. And he knocked him down early in the second round.
He beat him up.
He pummeled him for the whole, I don't think he lost a round. And in the 8th round, if you saw the highlights, we put them up on the Straight to the Point page. And Mr. Logan, he put him up. I'm forgetting his first name. But he put up the highlights as soon as they came out. That fight was at 4:30 in the morning our time. It was an annihilation, and he's already calling out his next champion. But he is undefeated. Almost every single fight's a knockout. He just looks like he's way stronger than everybody else, and he's got to be considered one of the pound for pound top fighters in the world now. I mean, he's cleaned out 2 divisions, and that was just the prelim to what we got coming up this week. But hats off to the Monster. Very impressive performance and definitely one of my top 5 fighters, no matter what division.
Yeah, and there's also a big fight coming up this weekend.
Tough to call.
No, it ain't. Team Light Skin, let's go.
2 quality two quality fighters. None of them have tasted defeat.
2 champs. Somebody's must go.
That's right. Somebody's gonna have a one to the right of those
They're
W's.
gonna get paid a lot of money for that O to go,
Yeah.
and I guarantee there's a rematch clause in it. I guarantee it. That's the only way this fight happened. There's
Why
going to be
wouldn't it
two
be?
big. As long as it's competitive.
Wow.
Like if somebody gets knocked out in the second round, I don't know about that rematch clause. But then it looks like annihilation. And who wants to see that all over again? But if it's competitive, if it goes to the decision, which I hope it doesn't, because boxing's scoring lately. You saw what happened with the Kambosos fight last week. Oh my God, he got beat up again.
Kambosos got his ass
and,
whooped.
and he won. And I don't even know the dude's name that he fought.
Yeah, he got his ass whooped. That was
But
ugly.
Mayweather, I mean, what's his name? Shakur Stevenson was all.
No, he told him. He
all
told him.
in his
He
face
told
about
him.
it.
He said, you lost.
You lost. You
You
know, right
lost.
to his face.
Yeah.
You should be ashamed.
And what do you say after that performance?
Mm.
There's not much you can say,
No,
man.
there's
I hit him
nothing.
in his fist with my face about 1,000,000 times. What are you talking about?
At that point, you just turn around and go back to the
But
drawing board.
that just shows me I don't trust boxing
No.
integrity. There's too much corruption.
So listen, I mean, the old adage is take it out of the judge's hands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Take it out of the judge's hands. The old adage is you don't want it to go and be
Settle it
close.
in the ring.
Take it out of the judge's hands and do your job and take the guy out. You don't want to leave no room for error. That's where like we said, some of the fights, it's like, what were they drinking while they were scoring?
Yeah. What you weren't watching the same fight.
I don't know.
But how do you guys feel about Saturday, man? You guys got a definite prediction or
Team Light Skin.
I think it's gonna go to the judges. I hate to say it.
with two guys that can knock people out as good as they can?
I think it's going to go to a distance.
Yeah, I do too.
'Cause
I do.
The first couple
Too
of
much
rounds.
heart.
The first couple of rounds.
Feeling out.
Gonna be
Yeah,
feel
they don't
out.
want to make a
respect.
mistake.
It's respect.
I hope
due
it's
to
not
each other.
boring.
It's respect due to the opponent that they're
Pitter
looking
patter,
for.
pitter
us.
patter.
But
then it'll open up.
But there's a lot of shit talking between these two. So
they both want to be considered the best at what they do at their weight class, and this has been going on for a couple of years now. I'm just glad it's coming to fruition. I would have bet my whole entire $100 life savings that this fight was going to get canceled again.
I just
$100,
think-
that's it.
Yeah, that's
I
all I
just-
got left.
I just think Spence is too big.
And the way he's annihilated his opponents, I saw a meme saying, "I'm coming for that eye."
For the eye.
Because
you
he-
see all them eyes?
The guy from England that he beat the hell out of, and
Be breaking eye sockets.
yeah,
man.
like his last three opponents, man. He said, "Yo, I hope your eyes are in good shape because I'm coming for that eye socket."
That boy can hit.
That boy good.
Yeah.
Mhm. But I know Crawford is a crafty fighter.
Yeah, Crawford.
He hasn't looked good against lower competition, but when the competition has been up there, he's shown improved. Like Sean Porter, and
Yeah, he fought old Sean Porter though.
he did. But I think he's looked better against a better caliber competition. When he's fought people we didn't think of, he's looked average. It's like he fought down to the competition. He didn't get motivated. He's looked better. So I think we'll see the best Crawford. We'll see the best Bud this week. But I think you're going to see the best Spence too. And I'm Team Spence.
Yeah.
I think his style of boxing and his power, he's going to be too big in the long run. But Crawford ain't going to be no slouch, man. I think it's going to be one of the better fights we've seen. I just hope it doesn't go to a decision and somebody gets robbed.
I don't know about getting robbed, but I see it going the distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
See it
let the
going
right
distance.
person win. If it goes the distance, let the rightful person get the decision.
Better pray to those boxing gods then.
Better
Because
do
anytime
something.
anytime it goes to the judges, man, you see sometimes
Make it a draw, if anything.
you
but don't.
see some scoring, and it's like you see a guy that has won pretty much, and then all of a sudden you see scoring at 160 to 153, and you're like, what the
Who won by
This-
7 rounds?
this guy,
Yeah,
what was he
that
smoking?
that was the last big fight there. Lomachenko.
Yeah.
He got
Yeah,
robbed.
he got robbed.
He got robbed.
Against Haney, and Kambosos just robbed.
Yeah.
2 fights within the last couple of months. 2 big fights, 2 big name fighters. And that was for an elimination for the Kambosos. That was for a vacated title because a shot at the vacated title because Haney moved up.
Yeah.
Haney moved up to 140. He's gonna go fight Regis Prograis now.
Yep.
Didn't want nothing to do with Shakur or Tank.
Nope.
But Tank doesn't have titles, right? He has 1 title.
I'm not sure if he has a
I
title
think that's
on
the only
140.
knock they're saying against him. He's the high profile fighter, the big money fighter, but it's Stevenson having all those titles and Haney having all those titles.
Yeah, no, yeah, Haney's got all the titles. He's
Yep.
undisputed. He was
But he's
undisputed.
going to relinquish him because Stevenson demanded him to be number one contender if he stayed at 135, and he's been having trouble at 130. But the easiest road for Haney was to move up,
Yeah, of
fight
course.
this guy first, with the promise to fight Lopez after. So he's got two more high money fights that he can probably win. And I'm not sure about the Tamo one. Timo might he might give him more than what you can bargain for. But I mean, Haney
I
could
think
win those two.
I think Haney will have an easier fight with Timo than he will with Progress.
Really?
Yeah,
I haven't seen Progress look good the last couple of fights. So.
Timo's never in shape.
But he came to fight against Josh Taylor.
Yeah, but
So I mean, we'll
Haney,
see what happens.
Haney's a little faster.
But I think
than
Haney's
Taylor.
2 fights away from having to fight Stevenson or Tank. And the only way he's going to fight Tank is if Tank comes up to 140.
Tank already did it. He already went to 140.
Yeah, but I'm saying stays up there permanent because he can avoid him as long as he's at 140 and Tank's at 135. He won't be a mandatory.
So one thing that we do know locally on August 1st at Top Shelf in New Bedford, 1825 Christian Ave, along with CES Boxing, all are invited at 3 p.m. for Ill Will official boxing press conference for his upcoming pro boxing match at Mohegan Sun, August 12th. All are invited, all ages. Will is a local boxer and world title challenger. Super Ray Oliveira will be there. All right. So once again, Ill Will is having his official press
More
conference.
local fighters making big news in the boxing world. We've had our fair share.
So if you're not doing anything, I believe that's Tuesday. It's a Tuesday.
It's a Monday. It's a Monday.
Is it a Monday? I thought it was Tuesday.
Nah, because Tuesday football starts for the kids. Give me.
So Tuesday would be the second.
Oh yeah, no, it's a Tuesday.
Tuesday,
wow.
yeah, Tuesday. Um,
Yeah.
So I'm glad I corrected you because
Well-
you would have been going on the wrong day.
No, I was not really because I was checking my calendar.
So if you're not doing anything, August 1st, head on down to Top Shelf, 3 o'clock, and it will be having his official boxing press conference for his upcoming pro boxing match at the Mohegan Sun, August 12th. So obviously we're seeing him fight at a bigger venue. I guess they're sick and tired of him selling out Providence over there.
And we went, and there wasn't enough room. He has a big following.
Yeah.
He's
They show
outgrown
up.
there. Yeah, like
New
2
Bedford
rows,
shows
we were
out.
standing up. Yeah.
New Bedford shows out, so they're taking it to another level. Obviously, having it at the Mohegan Sun.
The more
kudos
you
to
win,
him.
the bigger you get. Man.
Yeah, kudos to him, and good luck. And I think I'm going to go to the press conference.
I think I'm gonna go too.
I'm going to go. You'll be working. You can't go.
What time is
No.
it?
3 o'clock.
Oh.
I get out at 4.
But
But it's right up the street.
We'll
Yeah.
give. We'll
It might
give,
rain that day,
listen,
and I can get out early.
We'll give you all the details.
You can come by and have a drink after.
We'll give you all the details. By the time he gets there, all the drinks will be gone. But before we wrap up, in case you didn't know, tomorrow we're going to be having a show at the New Bedford Harbor Hotel, and it's a night out with WMB1 and friends. We're doing a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of comedy. Doors open up at 7 o'clock, and dinner will be served at that time until 9 o'clock. Come on down early and experience the great violinist Audrey Rosario.
Hip hop violinist guy.
She plays a little bit of
She
everything.
got nice,
Yep.
she got nice
She
song
plays-
out there too, man.
She plays
Every genre of music.
R&B, Afro beats, hip hop. She plays it all. So come on down. Doors open at 7 o'clock, and dinner will be going to 9 o'clock. They've got a nice little menu.
Yep, we got
they
that
put
posted
together.
online.
So come on down, and you can enjoy her as well as comedian Mr. Kuze, who's going
Straight
to be,
out of Cabo Verde.
who's going to be making fun of all the Cape Birds in the audience. So if he happens to come upon your Cape Verdeanness, Don't be offended, man. It's just comedy,
Hey,
man.
he's
It's just
K-Verdian
comedy.
himself.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, if you can't make fun of your own race, then
Yeah.
nobody can.
Very funny guy. He's gonna fit. He's gonna fit in perfectly with our crowd tomorrow. So hey, laugh. Who else is bringing you hip hop violinists or somebody who can play so many genres of music? And then we got DJing. WMB1's DJs. As soon as that over, so we got a whole night planned for you. Eat, laugh, dance. Listen to some quality. Musicians that you don't normally get to hear. It's only $15 if you get it before the doors open.
That's right. It'll be
At the
$20.
door,
It'll be $20 at the door.
$20.
It's real
Don't come
simple.
negotiating.
It's real simple. Just go to WMB1.com right now.
Get your
Scroll down.
tickets.
Enter. Scroll down. Go right to the bottom. There's a link right there where you can buy your tickets and be assured, $15, and you'll be assured entrance to gain entrance into the Harbor Hotel, because at the last one it almost sold out. So that's something to look forward to. Plus, you saved yourself $5. It's that simple. That's another drink. That's a beer at least.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're having that tomorrow. And if you need tickets, get in touch with any of us here, or you can call the station at 774-425-2631. Or like I said, get in touch with anybody, any three of us right here, or any of the other WMB1 staff before tomorrow, and we can get those tickets to you. Otherwise, go to WMB1.com and go to the website, and you can purchase the tickets here. There's a link at the bottom, and you can purchase and keep the tickets there. Any closing words before we part?
Hope you guys come out tomorrow.
Yeah, listen, it's going to be hot tomorrow. It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot in more ways than one, because it's going to be hot inside the Harbor Hotel. The entertainment is sure to be fire, and like I said, it's going to be hot outside. It's going to be hot inside, but hot in a good way. So make sure you come down. Like I said, doors open at 7. Come down and enjoy some dinner, and then after that, the festivities are on. It's WMB1 Radio, a night out with WMB1 and friends. All right. So with that being said, we're going to wrap up another show here at WMB1 Radio, straight to the points, sports, and we'll see you hopefully next week. With that saying, peace. We're out.
Peace.
Reliable Bus Lines Incorporated has been a leader in the school bus industry